Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. New product launch. I have not done one of these in quite some time. Thank you for joining me today. If you are joining me, just let me know on the other end if someone can see and hear me. I'm going to go into Facebook here. Today we are launching what's called the new Vibra AI. I'm going to drop a link here. This one is voice controlled. There. So I've just dropped links in the comments there. If you are joining me, give me a second here to share this out to Facebook land. And if you are joining me, I see people starting to tune in now. Thanks for joining me. If somebody could let me know if you can see and hear me on the other end, and I'll start my rambling here. Okay. So hi, Caroline. Nice to see you. I sent you a message the other day. I hope you got it. It was late. Okay. So thank you for letting me know. She can see and hear me. So I am going to get started on my ramblings. There's a new plate here today that you see in my studio. This is called the Vibra AI. And Lifepro has a few new vibration plates launching. There are two versions. If you go into the links that I've provided today, you will see there's two options under Lifepro's main website. One is for the Vibra AI voice, and the second model has a heat option in the surface of the plate. This is quite a bit smaller than the usual, the wavers, the rumblexes. I've got the Pulse model that I covered a couple weeks ago, side by side. So just to show you, this is a smaller machine. For those of you looking for a budget sized vibration plate, a small plate can be just as effective as a large plate. But if you are dealing with poor balance, poor mobility, the smaller a plate gets, the lighter and more tippy it can be if your stability isn't naturally good. So I like the smaller models and recommend them more for seated use, some light standing. If you are looking for a big workout machine, I do recommend looking at least the mini or larger if you're planning on doing dynamic exercises, adding weights. You want the plate to support your larger mass if you're adding weights, and if you're standing with a wider foot position, the wavers and up will accommodate that more effectively. Today, what's cool about this one, it was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't get a chance to do much playing. I was off last week with it, and I was playing with it last night. This is a vertical moving plate. So for those of you oscillating, that is the primary movement of vibration plates. But there is a healthy amount of research and demand for vertical plates. Now, vertical plates have a lot of the same benefits as oscillating plates. One is not better than another. One is not safer than another. But true vertical plates, the commercial grade, the ones that spark the research, are much larger, much heavier, much more investment. So Lifepro has come up with a new home model, and it caught me off guard. I knew it had AI. I knew it had voice activation, which I'm going to talk about here first in a minute. But I was surprised to find out it was a vertical moving plate. So some variety in the lineup. I'm going to talk separately as to the benefits of vertical vibration plates, or how it could complement what you're already using. This new plate is interesting. I had some fun with the remote last night. So if you're considering this plate, the first thing I want to point out is it has the slap wrist remote control. On the back of this, you'll see there is a little slot, and I wonder if I can get this close enough. You'll see this in the box, but there's a lock and an unlock button, and that opens up the back. There's a protective cover. In the manual, it talks about installing a battery. Well, Lifepro has included the battery, but there is a protective film that you got to get out of there for the remote control to work. And then you just slide it back in. There's a rubbery cover that this slides back into. And there's your remote control. So I've already powered up the machine. And what would be the advantages of this plate? Well, for those of you like me that never have your remote control handy, or you like your tech, you've embraced, I like to use a lot of voice to text. I use some Chat GPT in that way as well. This is voice control activated. So in the box with your manual, first piece of advice, if you're considering this technology today, register your lifetime warranty. Of course, that's very, very important. They put it right in your face. So with any new lifetime or any new product with Lifepro, please ensure that you go in and register your warranty upon receipt. This one had something else included with it, and you'll see there's this little bit more of a cardstock. It's a little bit on the laminated side, and it's got a suction cup. And these are some of the command words that you can use on this new plate. So it says, first verify the voice control function is on. Now, when you get this plate, the voice control is on as soon as I take the battery and activate the remote. But after the machine responds, you got to talk to it first. Then you can use some of these functions. So I'm going to show you an example of that. On the remote, you'll see there is a little, I want to get a good picture of that. It's fuzzy. Looks like a little microphone. Okay. So I'm going to, the machine, I'm going to power it on, and I'm going to press and hold. And the first command that you give to it is, hi, Lifepro. Oh, I did it too fast. Hi, Lifepro. Oh, no. Hi, Lifepro. Did I turn it off? Uh-oh. Hi, Lifepro.
Hi, how can I help you?
How cool is that? Let's tell her what to do. Start the machine.
Okay, resuming the workout.
I was playing earlier, that's why it said resume. So the first difference you'll notice about this compared to that normal rocking motion is it's pushing you up and down. That is vertical movement. There are different movements. For those of you that have a Rumblex model now, you're familiar with pulsation. This has more amplitude. So each time the plate is moving you, it's moving you up and down. If you've watched any of my spiels about pulsation or the movement types, you'll feel there is more amplitude, more amount of movement. It more mimics the commercial grade plates back in the day in the amount of amplitude. So amplitude is important. It's how much you're moving. On your oscillating plates, if you stand wider, it's more movement. If you stand closer, it's less movement. So on this one, I suggest, just like starting and oscillating, start with a comfortable position. Your knees are about hip width apart. The knees are slightly bent. A vertical plate, the resonance of the movement, the vibration that travels throughout your body and up to the head, a vertical machine moves this way. So the amount, it's almost
starting weight loss program.
Oh, I hit a button. I didn't mean to hit the button. But what's going to happen is you're going to feel the amount of movement up and down. If you do have a Rumblex or a turbo model that offers pulsation, is more on this model. And on this sheet, there's like 25 voice activated controls. This is going to be great for those of you, maybe you've got poor mobility, or you're in a recovery situation, and your remote control is over there, and it's hard for you to reach over, it's hard for you to reach over. Keep this handy. I often stick it to the edge of my chair. I've installed a ladder. I've got my Rumblex remote here. But keep it handy, and I think you'll find once you kind of get used to the voice controls, or your commands, this is going to be a huge improvement for those of you with mobility issues. You can simply talk to the machine. Vertical is a different type of movement. Again, I wouldn't say better. I feel oscillating has a few advantages as far as balance. Use your preference, but I know many of you, and I use vertical plates as well. It's just a new mix in the lineup. So if you're looking for some diversity, you use your vibration plate regularly, you've tried a vertical plate, and you prefer the movement, a lot of time it boils down to a preference. This is going to be a great option for you to consider. It's light, it's affordable, and it's kind of compact, so it's not going to take up a lot of room in your living room. So let's try something else here. On some of the voice commands, you can control by speed. You can ask it to do a specific program. Some of the programs have been preset based on common things that you guys are asking for. I would say the number one question I get lately, and it's certainly a popular search term on the internet, is lymphatic drainage or lymphatic movement. Vibration plates are well known for being researched for the when you move, lymph moves. This is just a different way to move. So I'm going to turn this off again, and I'm going to show you how to activate a program. Every time you want to activate the machine, you do, if it's gone to sleep, which it will do after 30 seconds, the voice control, you do still need to wake it up. I see some comments coming through. Yes, I can hear you. How heavy is it? It's much lighter than the Rumblexes, Barbara. I think this one's coming in at in and around 20 pounds. And its max user weight is 265 pounds. If you're using it seated or just doing a little bit of light standing, I always make exceptions as a trainer with that. But if you're going to be using this for fitness, you want to add some weight to it, some hand weights, kettlebells, be mindful of the 265-pound weight capacity. I would classify this more as a wellness, symptom management, entry-level light fitness kind of thing. This is not what I would consider if you're looking for a workout machine. So we're going to activate it again. I'm going to hit the little microphone button on the remote. Hi, Lifepro.
Hi, how can I help you?
Weight loss program.
Okay, starting weight loss program.
So weight loss program, typically when you're thinking weight loss, you're thinking burning more calories. You should consider exercises appropriate to that. The best one you can learn on a vibration plate is a good squat. It's going to be equally effective for burning calories, but strength. By forcing your body to do a position that's more challenging, you're not only forcing it to respond and make those muscles stronger, but it's also giving you the bone density, the lymphatic movement. A lot of things on a vibration plate are by association. They're not always necessarily that you have to do different things or a different session to accomplish those benefits. Some of the forever benefits in oscillating and vertical plates, of course, is circulation and lymphatic movement. Balance and stability improve even within one use. Your body's having to respond to this moving stimulus. If you're fearful in any way, mobility's not there, balance isn't there, I recommend starting seated. Program aside, any of the settings for a program are going to be a variable mix of different settings. So the increase in speed may increase, it may decrease. You're going to notice in my voice throughout the session, you're going to hear the movement more in my voice. It's just a characteristic of vertical machines and how they move your body. If you find the sensitivity or you have sensitivity on the head, the ears, the teeth, and you don't like the vibration kind of above the neck, bend the knees a little bit more and you'll see the legs As you bend and suppress lower, more of the vibration is absorbed by the legs and the glutes. If we stand up, you're going to notice it much more prominently. And I will say, as far as a sensation, oscillating by far, you do not feel the resonance of the movement to the same degree. Movement in the head is not harmful. A lot of you are sensitive to it or think it's harmful. So you, without even realizing, you guard and protect, you tense up and you fight the plate. Just relax.
Pausing the workout.
Oh, I hit the button. I've got to put that down or put it on my wrist. But what you've got to do if you're sensitive to head vibrations or you don't like the head sensitivity, start seated in a chair. If you're unable to bend the knees just slightly, as I was doing in that standing position, maybe that's something to work towards. Maybe you need to give yourself something to hang on to. You could put it behind the back of a couch or put a chair back in front of you. If you individually as a person lack stability, you fatigue easily, doesn't matter what style of movement you're using, give yourself something to hang on to. A lot happens quickly on a vibration plate. And even though, for speaking to my existing users, for those of you that have been using a vibration plate for some time, you're familiar with it, this is a different type of movement. And you may notice some of those newbie things when you're starting out.
Okay.
A little bit of that.
The workout.
Oh, it's the problem with voice control. I talk too much. But you may find, your body needs to go through a little bit of a getting used to it, an assimilation period. Vertical has its own whole ball of research. All the vibration plate research out there, be it vertical, be it oscillating, there's one common thread between the two. And that's that there are benefits. There are improvements to not only how you physically function, but to how you feel mentally and physically. Vibration plate movement type is very much just a preference. Oscillating, it is, as I said, the primary movement. It's what started this. All of Lifepro's models up to today offered oscillating, but know that the new Vibra AI is not only unique in its voice control, but it is also a vertical moving platform. And that's going to lay the path, for your feedback, your insight on how this feels, what you like, what you don't like. Again, one is not better than the other. This is just a new movement style. And many of you perhaps that have, wanted that pulsation or vertical movement, but maybe didn't want to commit to the size or the investment of a Rumblex, you can now just get a vertical moving machine to mix things up for variety. This is going to be a good travel option as well. This is going to be a good one for under the desk because of its compact size. And traditionally, vertical plates are quite loud. My commercial grade vertical plate, I've done a couple of sessions on that, but you can't even barely hear me talking on camera. So what I was pleasantly surprised with this, once I realized it was a vertical moving plate, is how quiet it functions. I'm going to use the voice again. Hi, Lifepro.
Hi, how can I help you?
Manual start.
Okay. How long do you want to work out?
So if you say on the chart, and you'll see this a little bit more in the manual, but with all of these voice commands, some of them are program related, some of them are speed related. So I've asked her to start the machine, but she's also asking me, well, how long do you want to run it for? 5 minutes.
Okay. Starting 5-minute manual workout.
So it's starting 5 minutes. Manual workout means it started at the starting.
How long do you want to work out?
5 minutes.
Okay. Starting 5-minute manual workout.
Beside the microphone is a lock button. So after you've given it your controls, I'm talking. So I'm stopping her from taking commands. But you're going to have some fun playing with this. If you wanted to increase the speed or shift gears and maybe try a program, I'm going to press and hold again to wake her up. Hi, Lifepro.
Hi, how can I help you?
Medium speed.
Okay, medium speed.
So it's still running for my original 5-minute set time.
Okay. Starting 5-minute manual workout.
And it's now increased the speed to a mid-range. You can go high speed, low speed.
Okay, low speed.
see if she's listening to me. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. My kids are gonna love this once they get a chance to play with it. On the remote, you can manually, of course, adjust as well. And on the plate, there is controls. I'll show you those here next. So you can increase your speed. You can change your time. You can power it on or off. This is a button for the programs. If you want to just cruise through the programs and see what those feel like. On the plate itself, I'm going to bring this a bit closer. Okay, just to give you a little bit of a closer look. Okay, it's totally manageable. But you can see here now on the I'm gonna put my foot up on my stool here. Okay, right in the middle down here, you're gonna see there is a power button. There's a manual start button. You can increase and decrease speed. To do the voice activated controls, you must use the remote control. And you'll see again, if we go back to the remote control, you have the microphone and the lock button on that function to run it that way for you. And again, there's 25 different voice activated controls. On the back of this is just a quick start guide, some tips. Avoid using voice commands in noisy environments. That's me talking too much. Or you can put the lock brush button on. Please allow the machine to fully complete its voice response. So yeah, just like you're talking on a CB radio or something, let it finish talking to you before you respond to it. The machine requires a response time. So if it doesn't respond immediately when you speak with a command word, and I talk too fast lots of times, please wait a few seconds first. If there's still no response, you can either try repeating the command word or use alternative command words. So the recommended flow is on the back here. So in what order you're asking it. So the command, let's say I want to, power on the machine. It knows that you may want to pre-select a time and a speed. So do those in order and give them a short time period, a couple seconds in between your commands to make sure she registers. I think what you'll find, and I have found with any of my voice activated technology, I do have other toys, is, after a session or two, it's kind of used to your commands. You get used to how you want to command it. I'm going to plug it back in here. Okay. So just as an example, I've powered the machine and the switch is on. I'm going to hit the power button here. And then we're going to talk to her again. So I'm going to wake her up, we're going to press and hold the voice activation button. Hi, Lifepro.
Hi, how can I help you?
Manual start.
Okay, resuming the workout.
So it's starting manually. I want to now pre-select a time. 5 minutes.
Okay, starting 5-minute manual workout.
And maybe I want to do it at a high speed. High speed.
Okay, high speed.
Without even having to push a button. It's a very different feeling than oscillating. For those of you, I started saying, if you are an existing user, you may find some newbie stuff return. That pins and needles, that itchiness, the tickling of the nose and the ears is a little bit more prominent in this type of movement. It's just the way it is. I assure you it's not harmful. Pause.
Okay, pausing the workout.
Right. This may be ideal as well for some of our therapists out there. Some of the devices out there where you're having to use an app or connect your phone or your iPad to it may not be your preference. Maybe your hands are doing something else and you want to turn the speed up manually. So there's going to be lots of different ways you can incorporate not only the voice control. I'm sure we'll see that. This is not only a new movement type, but a new feature that Lifepro has brought into the lineup of their vibration plate. So I'm sure you'll see evolution of this technology. I'm sure you'll see AI move forward in other platforms coming forward. But for those of you that are considering and have always thought about a vertical plate, I think You will be very impressed with this. As I said, there is another one I'm not showing it today, that has heat incorporated on the surface of the plate. So that's just an additional feature that you may enjoy. Maybe you got cold feet, you deal with neuropathy. But this is going to be a great platform for those of you that are dealing with sensitivity issues in the feet, that neuropathy, lower leg swelling, the lymphatic stuff. And it really does boil down to user preference. I'm not going to sit here and say this one's better than that one. It's variety. You know, maybe I like to use weights. Maybe you like to use kettlebells. You know, that there's specific benefits associated to whole body vibration, but many of them are similar. As I said, both oscillating and vertical are going to give you that lymphatic, that circulation, the strength, the bone density, all of those things that you've come to appreciate as a benefit for our existing users. For my new users, you know, it is one of those things you may have to try. There's more and more choice. And in my experience between oscillating and vertical, it really does boil down to user preference. For our existing users, I think you're just going to enjoy the variety. There is no, as I said, you know, any of the groups out there or the marketing online that's talking about this is better than that. I personally, if you can only pick one movement style, I do prefer oscillating as a functional trainer. For those that are dealing with poor mobility, balance, oscillating is more naturally how we move across the floor. But that being said, I used to have members back in the day that preferred vertical. It really is a personal choice. For my existing members, I think you'd enjoy this as a complement, especially for those that didn't want to commit, like I say, to a larger model to get that pulsation feature. I think you're going to enjoy having access to something not only more compact, but certainly much more affordable than looking at a Rumblex or a turbo model, as I said. I'm going to leave it at that, and I want to jump to some questions here. I see Caroline is here. I have dropped in the stream 2 places that you can buy, and yes, it's on sale in both places. It's on Lifepro Direct in the US as well as Amazon. It's about the same size as the Vibra Pulse. For those of you who saw me do that launch, I said that this one is officially the smallest of the lineup. You can add this to it, although I would say this probably weighs about 5 pounds more than the Vibra Pulse. Vertical moving plates have different components, you know, different housing, and I'm suspecting some of the additional weight just comes from the way that they're made, but it is still lighter than the Mini, just to give you, for those of you that have got a visual. The Mini's, I think, about 22, 23 pounds. Who else is here? So Barbara is here. Caroline is here. Thank you guys for joining me, and thank you for the sound check, Caroline. If you've been considering the Rumblex, Barbara, this is pretty cool. I actually, it's more movement than the pulsation movement. It has its own feel. Each plate has its own feel. Certainly something worth considering. And if you've been looking for a second plate to complement your Rumblex or your Waver, maybe you're looking for something more portable, travel friendly, this is going to be a great new option for you guys to consider. For those of you that are looking at it, I'd love for you to come back and give me some feedback. If anyone has ordered it already, vertical is a completely different type of movement. The operating characteristics are different. The frequencies are different. You can't compare an oscillating to a vertical plate just on frequency. They're completely different performance characteristics. So I'll get some information up this week specific to vertical versus oscillating plates. And I do welcome some feedback from those of you that may be using these types of models already. If there's no more questions, Karen, the weight limit on this one is 265. If you're curious about that. And if you're using primarily seated, some light standing, you probably could push that a little bit. If you're looking to do lots of intensive, dynamic exercise positions and so forth, adding mass, those type of things, you may want to lean towards the mini or the waiver, or perhaps even the rumblexes. It really depends on what you plan on using the plate for long term. Weight limit is a guideline. It doesn't always mean it's definitive. It really depends on how you're using it. So thank you for joining me today. As I said, I'm going to have my own, I'm still working with this new addition to Lifepro's lineup. And as it is a new technology, I'm going to give you guys some feedback throughout the next week and maybe plan another session next week, getting into more vertical style plates. In fact, I'll plan on doing that. So thank you for joining me, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Don't work too hard. And if you do have any questions, maybe for those of you joining me, maybe you have a question after the fact, or if you are watching this on a recorded basis, always tag me at Debby with a Y. This is called the new Vibra AI voice. And the other model you'll see on Lifepro's website is the Vibra AI with heat as an added feature in the plate as well. For those of you that have a love for heat or use it therapeutically, it's a great way to incorporate some movement and get that heat at the same time. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Have a great rest of your week. And for many of you, it's the last week kids are off school. Same for me. Some of you have gone back already, but for the rest of us, I think most of them are going back next week. Look forward to seeing you guys probably on Tuesday. Thanks for joining me, guys.